Welcome to County Portal, your simple source for local government services and public records. Let's get started.
Is daycare tax deductible? This is a huge question for millions of working parents, and the answer is a little more complicated than a simple yes or no. Technically, daycare is not a tax deduction. But the good news is that you might be eligible for something even better, a tax credit. This is called the Child and Dependent Care Credit, and it's more valuable than a deduction because it reduces your tax bill dollar for dollar, rather than just lowering your taxable income. To claim this credit, you need to meet several key requirements set by the IRS. First, the care must be for a qualifying person. This is typically your child who is under the age of 13. It can also be a spouse or another dependent who is physically or mentally unable to care for themselves and lived with you for over half the year. Second, the expenses must pass the work-related test. This is crucial. You must have paid for the care so that you, and your spouse if you file jointly, could work or actively look for work. This means care for a date night or running errands doesn't count, but daycare, after-school programs, and even summer day camps absolutely do. Third, you and your spouse must have earned income. This includes wages, salaries, self-employment earnings, and other taxable employee compensation. There are exceptions if one spouse was a full-time student or was disabled. Fourth, you must identify your care provider on your tax return. This means you need their name, address, and taxpayer ID number, which will be either a social security number for an individual or an employer identification number for a business like a daycare center. So, how much is the credit actually worth? You can claim a percentage of your expenses up to a certain limit. The expense limit is $3,000 for one qualifying person and $6,000 for two or more. The percentage you can claim depends on your adjusted gross income, or AGI, and ranges from 20% to 35%. For most taxpayers, the rate is 20%. For example, if you have one child and spent $5,000 on daycare, you can use up to $3,000 of those expenses. At a 20% rate, your credit would be $600. If you have two children and spent $10,000, you could use up to $6,000 of expenses for a $1,200 credit. Another option to consider is a dependent care FSA, if your employer offers one. This lets you set aside pre-tax money to pay for care. You can't use the same expenses for both the FSA and the tax credit, so you can't double dip. You'll need to figure out which option provides a bigger tax break for your family. As a final reminder, tax laws can be complex, and this information is for educational purposes. You should always consult with a qualified tax professional for advice on your specific situation. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped clear things up for you, please hit the like button.